Hello, Dreadfuls. I'm Jean,
I'm Derek.
and this is the Dr. Dread podcast. All right, episode 2. We are continuing with creepy children.
I don't like children still.
You still don't like children? Good, then I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're starting with the Green Children of Woolpit, since I went a little too long on the changelings last time and we didn't get to them. But the Green Children of Woolpit aren't so much creepy children so much as just a weird, unexplained event in history. And I just think they're cool, so we're going to talk about them.
I've heard of them.
Oh, you've heard of them?
Yeah, I've heard of these Green Children.
All right. Actually, I first heard of them in 5th grade. My 5th grade teacher, thank you, Miss Loomis, had a random book about various weird and unsolved things. And I remember looking at this book and I remember noticing that I knew about most of the stuff in it already. And then I found the story about the Green Children of Woolpit, and it was one of the few things in that book that I had not heard about before and didn't know an explanation for, because we still don't really know what the explanation is for these green children. So anyway, thank you, Miss Loomis, for having this book and feeding my interest in weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, The Green Children of Woolpit is a story from 12th century England. It begins in a small village called Woolpit, and 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl, were discovered by local villagers. They came out of a wolf pit, which is a type of trap used for catching wolves, hence their name and the name of the village. But there was something odd about these children. They had green skin.
Green? Like the grass green?
Yes, like green skin.
So how green are we talking? Are we talking bright green or dark green?
Well, all the legends, it doesn't really say, just that they had a strange green-hued skin.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with light green.
So, sure. Green skin, and they spoke in a strange language that no one could understand.
They probably were German.
No, they probably would have recognized German. They might not have understood German, but they probably would have at least recognized the German language. They might have had somebody around that recognized the German language.
So they're aliens?
That is a theory on the Green Children. We'll get to theories on, who the children might have been and causes for their green skin, and that is one of the theories, but we'll get to that. But anyway, the villagers, of course, there are these 2 children who show up. They want to take care of them. So they take them home, and they live with a man named Richard de Calney, a local farmer. And initially, the children refused to eat anything except raw broad beans, which they seem to like.
Huh.
Yeah. But over time, they adapted and they learned to eat other things and began to learn English. But
Wow.
unfortunately, the boy became ill shortly after he arrived, and he didn't last very long. He died shortly after their arrival. The girl survived, and like I said, she gradually learned to adapt. She learned to eat other foods, started learning English. And as she got older and learned enough English, she was able to tell the villagers her story. And she said that she came from a land called St. Martin's Land, a place where everything was green, that was in perpetual twilight. The sun was always dim. It was never fully dark or fully daylight. And they spoke this strange language that she spoke.
Did they do an autopsy on the boy?
No, from everything I found, there was nothing that said there was any sort of autopsy done.
Missed opportunity.
Hey, autopsy procedures and autopsy technology would not have been what it is today back in 12th century England, all right?
I'm just saying, missed opportunity.
Yes, we wish they could have done that, and we wish we could have had all the medical knowledge and medical technology that we have now back in 12th century England, but we didn't.
That's all I gotta say is missed opportunity to find out what they were.
Yes, and one thing I do remember from this book I read in 5th grade, don't ask me how I remember this, but this one detail that I do remember from this book in 5th grade that I have found nowhere else actually, was that the girl said that when they came from wherever St. Martin's Land was and ended up in Woolpit, England. She remembers hearing a sound that sounded like bells, like lots of bells.
Dong.
Yes, dong dong.
Um,
So I don't know what to make of that. And I haven't found that detail in any of the other recountings of the story, but I do remember that from that book I found in 5th grade.
huh.
But yeah, as the girl grew more accustomed to her new life, her skin eventually lost the green color. She integrated into English society. She eventually forgot whatever language it was that she spoke and eventually married a local man and just became part of the community.
She became human.
Well, it seems like she always was human, at least mostly.
Yeah, see? She became human. She wasn't an alien anymore. Her skin wasn't green.
That's if she was an alien in the first place.
She probably was. They crash landed. They hit the eject button on their seats and boom, they ended up in Woolpit, England.
We will get to theories, but yes, that is a... aliens are a theory of these children. But anyway, there are 2 primary accounts of the Green Children of Woolpit. The first is an account from a man named William of Newburgh. And he focuses on the children's claim that they came from this dimly lit world where the sun never shone brightly. And he is the one who mentions that the girl calls wherever they came from St. Martin's Land and says it's this mysterious place is separated by a large river.
Well, I was going to say it sounds like Alaska, but...
Wrong continent, my dude.
I was just going to say it sounds like Alaska.
Okay, as far as the perpetual twilight part, I see where you're going with that, but wrong continent, my dude.
Well, that's the only connection I can make. So I'm just trying to I'm just trying to get any connections I can make. You know, maybe we should try to find their graves. See if they have left skeletons.
Okay, 12th century England.
Yeah, there's probably nothing left.
12th century. I don't think there's much left of wherever they were buried.
Well, people were so curious they should have done an autopsy on them.
We went over why that was probably not going to yield much.
Or they should at least tried something, see if he bled fucking blue.
Okay, but anyway, yeah, the other account is from a man called Ralph of Coggeshall. And he's the one who focused on the girl's later life, and he speculates that she might have married a man from King's Lynn, another village in the area, but that detail isn't found. And he was one who described that the girl was words. But his account is the one where the girl was reportedly described as being, quote, impertinent and wanton, meaning she had a strong and unconventional personality.
Huh. Wait, back to the boy. What if he bled Gatorade?
Then I think we would have known for sure that they were aliens if he bled Gatorade.
Quench blue Gatorade. This is not an ad for Gatorade. I'm just coming up with theories and ideas what these people could be.
Okay, well, we will get to theories now.
How about Cool Blue?
Are you suggesting that he might be a different kind of alien depending on what Gatorade he would have bled?
No, I'm just asking what flavor.
Why is he bleeding Gatorade anyway?
I don't know. That's the only liquid that I think has color in it. I don't know if aliens bleed red. I mean, if we're counting people bleeding, I mean, we're like fruit punch Gatorade. I'm just saying. If we're going Gatorade for what species bleed, I mean, we all bleed red, but you know what? Aliens could be bleeding like green, like.
Yeah, we don't know because we've never met any aliens, and we don't know if the Green Children were aliens. But speaking of them being aliens, that is a theory on what they were. Some people argue that they were aliens, either aliens or from a parallel universe, or from an underground civilization. So you had mentioned the lizard people and the reptilians talking about the changelings. Well, they are a theory for the Green Children of Woolpit.
Is Mark Zuckerberg related?
Why would Mark Zuckerberg be related?
People think he's a lizard man.
Okay, well, he might be that. If the lizard people, if the reptilian theory is true for the Green Children of Woolpit, just assuming that it is, then maybe they are distantly related to Mark Zuckerberg if he is in fact a reptilian himself.
I mean, just look at him. He looks like one. I'm just being honest.
God.
This is all theory. I'm just coming up with theories here. I am not trying to be offensive. I'm just coming up with theories. Possible things that could be happening. What if they're lizard people?
Well, that, like I said, that is a theory, but what are you going to do to prove that theory?
What if they're like the Predator? What if they're distant relatives of the Predator?
Okay, that's one I haven't heard.
The Predator
relatives of the Predator.
The Predator bleeds like bright green. What if their blood was like bright green?
We don't know. There is nothing in any of the accounts of them that say what color their blood was. So we don't know.
Another missed opportunity.
Yeah, so anyway, less fantastic theories on the Green Children of Woolpit. Some people suggest they might have been refugees from some surrounding area and just spoke a language that the inhabitants of a 12th century English village didn't know, and suggest that their green skin could have been attributed to malnutrition, specifically a condition called chlorosis, caused by malnutrition, which makes their skin appear an odd color.
What causes that?
Like I just said, that condition called chlorosis. Basically, it's a malnutrition.
Sorry, tell.
Wow, words. Having trouble talking. Yeah, basically, it's caused by malnutrition. When you aren't getting enough nutrients, your skin can take on odd colors.
Huh. So if I don't get enough vitamin A, I might be like become a lizard person or something.
Well, I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, chlorosis. It was a form of anemia, often caused by dietary deficiencies. So basically, yeah, they're not getting enough iron in their diet.
Huh. So
and that's a more plausible theory because once they got taken in by the village and they had access to a more nutritious diet and were getting fed better, and if they were orphans, they probably wouldn't have been eating very well. Then they lost their green skin, and that's why it went away. Yeah. On a related note, So chlorosis might turn your skin green. But on a related note, a substance called colloidal silver, if you take too much of it, can turn your skin blue.
What?
Yes.
Oh.
What?
You know the blue people that like do the music?
Oh, Blue Man Group.
They take silver. They don't paint their bodies blue. They take silver.
So that's your theory on Blue Man Group, is that they all took too much colloidal silver and that's why they're blue now?
Yeah.
That's not paint?
Yeah, it's not paint.
Okay.
It's like being low on vitamin C.
No.
I don't know.
No, being low on vitamin C is scurvy. That's a condition called scurvy.
It sounds like somebody would name a dog that.
Okay, well, ironically, the reason pirates would call people scurvy dogs is because scurvy was very much a problem for sailors and pirates and people who spent a lot of time at sea. Because it was hard for them to keep fruits and things on ships and keep it from spoiling long enough to give them the vitamin C they would need to not get scurvy.
That dog's name is Scurvy.
Well, yeah, scurvy is a vitamin C deficiency.
Well, I don't even know what I'm going to say.
I don't know either. You are the one who brought up scurvy, so I had to tell you about scurvy.
Well, if your dog's name's Scurvy, you name him after the disease.
Okay, if you would name your dog Scurvy, then you have other problems.
What if you didn't know about the disease?
Then I would wonder how you happened upon the name scurvy if you didn't know what it was.
I've seen a dog. I had a friend's dog named Scurvy one time.
You did?
Yeah, his dog was named Scurvy.
His dog was named Scurvy?
Yeah.
Did he know what scurvy was?
Nope.
Then how did the dog end up being named Scurvy?
I don't know. I never found that one out. It was a Boston Terrier. He always said that dog would. He said that dog was kind of dumb.
Well, it's a Boston Terrier. They're not necessarily dumb, but they are hard-headed.
Yeah. I remember that. That was second grade when I found that out.
All right. But anyway, so on to other explanations for the Green Children. They might have had just some rare genetic condition where their skin had a weird green tint that we just don't know about.
Huh. I don't know what genetics that would be.
Well, we don't know either. Again, 12th century England.
See?
So, I mean, people pop up with odd genetic abnormalities all the time, and this just might have been one of them.
I've never seen a green person before.
Also, toxic exposure. They might have lived in an area with high levels of copper or some other contaminant that affected their skin color.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you could be right there. But what if that genetic condition is lizard people?
What's with you and the lizard people?
I'm just trying to find any connection that made sense in my head.
I don't think the lizard people are a genetic condition, my dude. They are another theory. Some people would call them a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, they are a conspiracy theory. I agree with that. I don't think lizard people are real, but I'm just trying to cause chaos here.
And then our another theory, the last one we'll talk about, is that they are purely just a fictional tale. That there might have been some orphans found in this wool pit, but the tale was exaggerated and embellished, just as stories have a tendency to do.
Yeah, that's probably the most likely case. Then second is probably the toxic exposure or something like that.
Yeah, or some sort of medical issue.
Well, I haven't heard of a medical condition turning you green.
Hey, again, chlorosis, my dude.
Oh yeah,
there are medical conditions that can do that. It can happen. But anyway, so that is the Green Children of Woolpit, still an unsolved mystery, largely because we don't know how much of it is true, but still an interesting story.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
So now on to the Black-Eyed Children.
Yep, I heard of these people before.
You've heard of the Black-Eyed Children?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So imagine you are at home late one night. For whatever reason, you're the one awake.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear a knock at the door.
Yeah.
So you go to the door, you open the door, and there are two children there.
Get away from my house.
Well, there's two children. And they say to you that they're lost. They need help. And they ask, can you come inside?
Nope, go the other way.
Dude, let's hope that there are no children who need help that ever find you. You are not friendly to lost children. But anyway, so the children ask if you can come inside, but for some reason, you're afraid of them. You don't know why, you can't put your finger on what it is, but there's something not right. And then you notice that there's something odd about the children's clothing. They're a little out of date. Nothing huge, nothing you noticed right away, but the more you look at it, the more odd it seems. And then they look up at you. And their eyes are all black.
I'd say, go the other way, have a lovely day, slam the door shut.
Yep, no iris to be seen, no sclera, just all black eyes.
You know what? Before I would do that, I would ask him some questions. Because the first thought that would go through my head is they're probably ghosts. So I would ask him about the stock market. I would ask him about the economy.
What makes you think the ghosts would know about the stock market and the economy?
I would just try to make the ghosts go insane. So, like they just leave me alone. Or what if they're NPCs?
Hey, that could be a theory because the black-eyed children, they're more of an urban legend than folklore, but yeah, that encounter is typical of a black-eyed children encounter, and so they definitely fall under the category of creepy children.
Yeah, they could be NPCs, and if they only have 2 voice lines, I could just break them.
Okay, well if we are living in the Matrix, if the Matrix theory is real and we are living in a simulation, then yes, it's possible that they are NPCs that didn't get fully rendered and that's why their eyes are black.
Yep, and that's why I'm gonna break them.
You're going to max out their voice lines and break them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna absolutely destroy them. I'm gonna break them and they'll start glitching out in front of my face, and then boom, they disappear. And then you know what? I'd have people come after me that control the Matrix, but you know what? That's gonna be fine because I'm gonna escape it first.
Okay. So, yeah, the black-eyed children usually are described as being anywhere between 6 and 16 years old with pale skin and lifeless black eyes.
Well, you know what? If they're 16, I'm just slamming the door shut in the first place.
And may wear outdated or strange clothing. And the stories usually involve them approaching people, usually at their homes, in parking lots, or near their cars, asking for help or to come inside.
Well, you know what? Don't ask me for help.
Yeah, don't ask Derek for help. To all the black-eyed children out there, don't bother with Derek. He's not going to help you.
Well, don't bring attention to me.
You're the one sitting here saying, "Nope, slam the door in their face." But yes, in all the stories, despite their youthful appearance, the people who are said to have experienced them have always described a sense of unease or dread around them. And they're usually very persistent, often insisting that they be let inside, which, of course, just causes more feelings of dread.
I don't know how that causes dread.
Because it's creepy to have this little kid just insisting that you let them inside.
I don't care. They're not gonna get inside. As they can whine as much as they want, they ain't get inside my house.
Okay. But yes, also in many accounts, people claim that for a while after they've met these children, they still feel fear. They still feel that intense fear or a sense of impending doom.
Impending doom.
Impending doom. Even when no overt threat is made, they have that lingering sense of impending doom.
What is this doom? Are they gonna get bombed or something?
In all the urban legends of the black-eyed children, we don't really know what they do. I haven't found any that are not just clearly made up that actually say what they do.
But do they fear the black-eyed children are gonna come back and shoot up their house or something?
I don't think the black-eyed children will resort to firearms. No.
Like, what's this doom? Why are we so afraid?
That's just what's reported is that you feel that intense sense of fear around the black-eyed children.
Why? What's the fear?
Again, we don't know.
See, these people just are not thinking.
That's part of what makes them so creepy is that we don't really have any answers on what they're going to do to you.
Then why not ask them? Boom.
Okay. You know what? If we run into the black-eyed children ever, you can be the one to ask them what they want to do. Okay?
You want to go to the arcade? You want to go to the basketball court? You want to go to the football field? You want to go to the baseball field? What do you want to do?
There you go. That's your answer. They're just kids and they want fun shit to do and they want somebody to recommend fun things for them to do.
You know what? I recommend them going to Walmart and just walking around.
Do the Walmart challenge? Are there any 24-hour Walmarts anymore? Can you do the 24-hour Walmart challenge anymore?
I mean, I've seen people do the 24-hour challenge at Target. After they closed, they just hid until they closed.
Oh, that's upping the ante on those 24-hour challenges.
Yeah, that was during the whole 24-hour challenge thing. Before they did in Walmarts and other things that were open for 24 hours, they did Targets. They just hid.
Okay.
They would go in an hour before closing. They would just go hide. It's pretty illegal, I think.
Yes, that is called trespassing. That is illegal.
Well, People still didn't film it.
Yeah, and then when they get caught, they're gonna have video evidence of everything they did. Yeah, not smart.
I don't think the 20 years is up on that because that was like 8 years ago. So,
Okay,
there's
well, if they have not had charges pressed against them, then the statute of limitations for trespass would have run by now.
or I don't know
Yes,
how long that is.
whatever it is. Yeah, it depends on what state you're in. They're all different, but I don't think any state has a statute of limitations for 20 years on trespassing.
I don't know, I was just taking a guess.
Yes, if it really is 20 years since they've done that, they're good now. If they never got charged with anything,
Well, it's been like 8 years.
8 years is not 20, my dude.
Well, I was just guessing.
That's a big gap in your guesses.
Well, no, I said like 20 years for a statute of limitations for it to run out or something. That's why I was guessing.
Oh, I thought you meant that these had been done 20 years ago.
You think these were done 20 years ago?
That's what I thought you said.
No, they've been done 8 years ago
Okay.
when I was a kid.
Well, anyway, the most known black-eyed children story is the story of Brian Bethel's encounter.
Brian Bethels.
Brian Bethel in 1996.
All right, here we go.
So this actually happened here in Texas, in Abilene, Texas.
Hmm.
Yep. So Brian had his car parked in the parking lot of a movie theater and was writing a check to pay his internet bill at the nearby office for the internet company. Remember, this is 1996. This is pre smartphones where you could just pay your bill online. You had to actually write checks and take them to an office and drop them off.
Well, you know what? He should have been at the bank.
He was not paying the bank. He was paying his internet bill. He had to drop it off at the office for the internet company.
My bad. He should have been somewhere else. He should have never been there.
But this parking lot was near the building where he needed to be to pay his internet bill.
Well, you know what? He should have been in that parking lot. He should have been there.
Good Lord. But anyway, it was late at night, and then he's, writing his check in his car, focused on writing, and all of a sudden he notices that two boys, who he estimated to be around 10 and 14 years old, knocked on his car window.
Go away. Find your parents.
Well, Brian described them as having been ordinary in appearance, nothing stuck out to him, casually dressed, but somewhat out of place with their clothes. And then they asked him for a ride to their house. They explained that they'd forgotten to bring money to buy tickets for the movie they were going to see at the movie theater, and they needed to go back home and get their money. And they assured him that it wouldn't take long.
They assured me.
Yes.
I don't like your insurance.
Well, anyway, as that interaction unfolded, Brian said he felt a deep sense of fear and couldn't explain why, because they're just two young boys, but their presence made him increasingly uneasy. And part of what did that is he noticed that the way the boys spoke was odd. They were unnaturally confident in what they said, almost as if they'd rehearsed everything they were going to say.
They sound like they're trying to scam me. They're trying to scam me out of the car ride. I need my gas money.
But anyway, he says their insistence felt forced, almost as if they were trying to manipulate him into complying.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to rob me. Ain't gonna happen.
But anyway, he says at some point during this interaction, Brian realized that the boy's eyes were entirely black. No white sclera, no irises, no pupils, just all black.
Okay.
And of course, when he noticed that, he says that revelation intensified his fear, and he knew at that point he needed to GTFO.
Okay.
And so, of course, Brian's not letting them in the car, and he says the boys' demeanor changed when they became aware that he was not complying with their requests to let them in his car. He says they became increasingly insistent, saying things like, "We can't come in unless you let us, and this won't take long, and we're just kids." He says their tone was both persuasive and unsettling.
Well, you know what? I would try to match their energy.
Match their energy how?
If they start intensifying how they're speaking, I'm gonna intensify too.
So that's the answer for dealing with the black-eyed children, match their energy.
You know what? They sound like spirits that only work on approval. So you know what? I'm just gonna let them stand there and keep asking. So it's kind of messed up. I'm gonna do that to them, but you know what? If they want it so bad, they can stay there and keep asking. But you know what my answer is? It's still gonna be no every time.
So is this like another version of like out creep the creeps?
I guess.
Another version of traumatize them back?
Yeah, essentially. They're gonna traumatize me. I'm gonna traumatize them back. I'm gonna make them go spread the word and don't mess with me.
All right, there's your advice from Derek for the day. If you run into the black-eyed children, traumatize them back.
Yeah. Just start saying weird things to them.
Yes. Okay, that's Derek's advice to you. So anyway, back to Brian. Now very afraid of these children, feeling an overwhelming need to flee the situation. Brian started his car and quickly drove away. And as he glanced back, he noticed that the boys had vanished. And remember, this is in a big movie theater parking lot. There was nowhere that they should have been able to go in that amount of time where he couldn't see them. But there was no sign of them anywhere, which only heightened the mystery of the encounter.
Well, you know what? It seems like he won, but he didn't win in the way I would have.
And how would you have won? Traumatizing them back?
Yeah, exactly. I'll just start asking, how do you feel about the Seattle Sharks? Just start saying random sports teams that don't exist.
Seattle Sharks.
And then I could tell if they only have 2 voice lines.
Okay. So in your made-up sports team, what sport do the Sharks play?
They're a hockey team.
Okay, fair enough. So anyway, after this encounter, Brian initially shared his experience on a paranormal email list where the story gained significant traction. And then the internet does what the internet does, and it became sort of an urban legend and showing up on things like a creepypasta.
Ooh, creepypastas.
Yes, creepypastas. But there was actually a tabloid called the Daily Star in 2014 that ran 3 different stories about alleged sightings of the black-eyed children.
Really?
Yes.
So back to my Seattle Sharks. That might be I know Seattle has a hockey team. I don't know what they're called. They might be called the Sharks.
Don't ask me about hockey. I know nothing about hockey. My hockey knowledge extends to the Mighty Ducks, and that's about it.
Not the Dallas Stars?
Okay, I know that the Dallas Stars are the Dallas hockey team, and that's it. That is the extent of my hockey knowledge, okay?
I just had a thought about this. I just had memory.
Yes.
Me and my friends used to be scared of creepypastas.
Oh, yeah?
Especially the Fortnite ones.
There were creepypastas about Fortnite?
Yeah, there were creepypastas about games. There's a lot during that time.
All right. Before we continue with the black-eyed children, I have to ask, what on earth did they write about Fortnite?
Well, there was the one that my friends were scared of the most. It was one basically like it was the feature they added back then when you could thank the bus driver.
Okay.
That's a feature they still have now, but it's like the story started. It's like this guy did not thank the bus driver for 3 times in a row.
Okay.
And so the bus driver rolled up outside his house with a battle bus, kidnapped him, and threw him on the battle bus.
Oh.
Yeah.
So did the bus driver like pull a move from the ring and like crawl out of the game and show up in front of the house with the battle bus?
No, just like he didn't go through the monitor. He just like boom, you heard it. Like classic Fortnite haunt sound. He heard it from outside his house. He looked outside his house. Boom, the Fortnite battle bus is there, and the bus driver is about to come in and kidnap him.
Oh.
And then so he thanked the bus driver, and then boom, he disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. There's a lesson from Fortnite creepypastas for you. Always thank your bus drivers.
Yeah. I tried that one time. They were kinda scared. That's when we were younger. And right as that happened, our power cut out, and then they got really scared.
Uh, all right. Well, that's basically the black-eyed children. So, let's get into explanations for the black-eyed children. One of the more rational explanations is sleep paralysis. Basically, encounters with the black-eyed children are thought to possibly occur when you're sleeping, and you just might mistake them for being awake. Sort of like sleep paralysis, where your mind is awake but your body is still immobilized, and people often report seeing shadowy, menacing figures when they experience sleep paralysis.
Well, I don't think those would be sleep paralysis demons.
It's just a possibility.
I just have a question. Why would this dude fall asleep in his car in the middle of nowhere?
Hey, he may have. That's a possible explanation for this. Is it was late at night, as he said in this story, so he might have just fallen asleep, and the black-eyed children were his sleep paralysis demons.
I mean, that's a fair point.
They might have been an early version of the Hat Man. We don't know.
Oh, I can't take Benadryl because I owe the Hat Man 350.
He need about 350.
Yeah, I owe him about 350. I lost a bet.
What did you bet with the Hat Man to where you now owe him 350?
The Cowboys were gonna win a football game, week 18.
Okay, that's your own fault. You should have known that the Cowboys were not going to win.
That is true.
That one is squarely your own fault.
Yeah, that's on me. I got to pay him back somehow.
Well, how are you going to do that if you never take Benadryl again?
Yeah, he ain't gonna get it.
You just said you had to pay him back.
Well, if I ever see him again, I'll pay him. But you know what? He's gonna have to wait for a minute.
Okay. So another explanation is a form of mass hysteria. The black-eyed children may be an example of a shared delusion when an urban legend has grown through multiple retellings, which thank you, the internet, for amplifying things like that. Because the stories often follow similar patterns, just that pattern we described. The children show up, they ask for help or to come in. You feel very creeped out by them, and then they have black eyes. And so those reoccurring similar patterns in the stories reinforce belief in the phenomenon, and so it may just be a strange manifestation of mass hysteria.
Well, I'm trying to think of a mass hysteria case. More recent one. I'm trying to think of a recent one.
I can't think of one having actually occurred in real life, but there is an episode of House where people experience mass hysteria.
That is true. I think there was one in a school in some other country.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah,
It was kind of the same thing that House episode was on. Like somebody got sick and everybody started experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, because the one on House was the people on the airplane. They thought somebody had meningitis, and then everybody started exhibiting meningitis symptoms until House figured out that nope, it's not meningitis, and then suddenly everybody was okay.
Yeah. I think it was like a gas leak in a school happened one time.
Okay, well, a gas leak actually can cause symptoms
Yeah, but
apart from mass hysteria.
yeah, and then I think one person got sick from it, and then it kind of spread fear about everybody thinking they might have the symptoms sooner or later. And then boom, mass hysteria hit, and over like 100 people
Oh wow.
experienced it. Yeah, it was a huge case.
I'll have to try to figure out if I can find out what that is, and then we can actually talk about that case for real, because that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and then everybody found out, oh no, y'all are just dumb.
All right.
It was just
So-
that one person.
Yeah, more unusual explanations for the black-eyed children. That they might be demons or evil spirits. Many people associate black eyes with demonic entities. So, of course, if you see children with black eyes, they might be seen as demons or evil spirits.
Well, what I learned from Art Bell is red eyes.
Yes, if you are of the Art Bell school of the paranormal, then you know that red eyes are a bad thing. But Art Bell did have a few people who mentioned the black-eyed children on his show, and Art was not a fan of the black-eyed children either.
Well, I'm trying to think.
Oh,
I have one you can add to the list.
yes.
They're NPCs.
Yes, like you mentioned before, if we are living in a simulation, then yes, the black-eyed children might be not fully rendered NPCs.
There's a pretty good music album on simulation theory.
Hmm?
There's a pretty good album on simulation theory.
What
Like
do you mean
music
an album on
like music
simulation?
album.
Yeah, what about it?
The Muse simulation theory album.
Oh, you mean the simulation theories about how our whole existence is a simulation?
Yeah,
Ah, that's what you're trying to say. Yes. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to Simulation Theory by Muse.
that's a pretty good album.
It's a good album. But anyway, so if not demons or evil spirits, then possibly just ghosts. Some people believe that the black eyed children are spirits of lost or deceased children who haunt the living, just trying to find their way back home or get the help they never got.
Yeah. Oh, also Terry Crews was in some of the music videos for the simulation theory album.
Who is Terry Crews?
He's like some actor.
Okay. I don't know him, so I'll take your word for that.
Yeah. My friend knows him and I
Ah,
told him to watch one of the music videos. He's like, oh, I know him.
okay. I will take your word for that.
Yeah.
So if you are a Muse fan and you know who Terry Crews is, he is in a few of their music videos.
Yeah.
All right. So, another more of these supernatural explanations that they might be vampires. Vampires are often associated with the notion that they cannot enter your home unless they are invited, which seems very similar to the black eyed children often insisting that you let them into your car, your house, wherever they're trying to get in.
Well, you know what? You know how we solve that one? Ask them to show their teeth.
Okay, so if we ever meet the black-eyed children, you are asking them to show them. You're asking them to show us their teeth, and then you're trying to traumatize them back.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
If we ever run into the black-eyed children, you've got this.
Well, you gotta ask questions too. You can't hide behind me.
Hey, you're the one who's coming up with all this stuff on what you're gonna do if you meet the black-eyed children. So go ham, my dude. Go ham.
Hey, I might have a different reaction when I meet him, but you know what? I might run, but
All right, fair enough.
it just depends on what the situation is.
Yep. Another of the more supernatural explanations is that they might be alien hybrids. Some theories suggest that the black-eyed children are alien-human hybrids, a result of extraterrestrial experiments, and their black eyes might indicate their non-human origin. So this myth originated in 1996, or this urban legend came out in
Mhm.
1996. The X-Files first aired in 1993. 92, 93, I want to say 93. But anyway, in the X-Files, a classic indication that someone had a run-in with the aliens was they had this black goo, and it would infect you and make its way up to your eyes and black out your eyes for a short period of time. So part of me wonders if the black-eyed children at least partially came from the X-Files.
Maybe.
And yes, the X-Files is largely responsible for my interest in weird shit. I watched that show religiously growing up. I wanted to be Fox Mulder when I grew up. And now my husband Rick tells me that I'm more like Scully.
Well, you know what? I forgot that for last episode when we were talking about the fairies and stuff stealing children.
Yes.
I forgot to mention the X-Files episode.
Oh, yeah?
Where the one where that kid got hit by a van and then his doppelganger showed up and then acted completely different from him. Like, completely different from him.
I'm trying to remember which one that is.
Yeah, hit by a van and then his doppelganger showed up back completely different from him.
I don't remember that one right now, but that sounds like something the X-Files would have done.
So yeah.
It's been a while since I've rewatched it.
So yeah, I forgot to add that last episode, so I just had to sneak that in here.
Well, thank you.
I just had to think about that one.
So, of course, a more rational explanation for the black-eyed children is that they are simply a prank or a hoax. Many accounts could simply be the result of individuals dressing up and acting strangely to scare other people. And of course, Now we have, fully blackout contacts that can cover the entirety of your eye. I don't think those were readily available in 1996, but they would be now.
So if you see a black-eyed children now, ask, are you pranking me?
Yes, if you see one now, your first thought would probably be it's a prank.
You know what I would do? I would just try to shake their hand and be like, shake my hand.
And sure, why not? So now you're shaking their hand, asking them to show us their teeth, and trying to traumatize them back. You've got your whole battle plan laid out for dealing with the black-eyed children.
Yeah, after we have the whole conversation about show me your teeth and traumatizing them, I would ask them to shake.
And asking them about non-existent sports teams.
Yeah, then I would ask them to shake my hand, and then I would just go inside and lock the door.
There you go. That's Derek's battle plan for engaging with the black-eyed children.
If anybody wants to try that and experiences a black-eyed children incident, tell me how it works. I would like to know.
Yes, please. And so last theory that we're going to talk about, back to the more supernatural ones, is that they are tulpas, which is a Tibetan Buddhist tradition, which is thought to be a being that is materialized into existence basically from spiritual practice, intense concentration, basically thinking them into existence.
Oh, that kind of sounds. Yeah, I've heard about that before. Like
Yeah,
thinking something into
so
existence.
that's the other theory of it, is that someone has just basically willed and thought them into existence.
Wasn't that X-Files episode?
That
also?
was an X-Files episode. That one I do remember. That was the one where Mulder and Scully were going to investigate a series of murders in a very creepily perfect suburban neighborhood. So they show up in this neighborhood and they find out over the course of the episode that there is this one guy who studied with some Tibetan monks for a while, and they taught him how to conjure up one of these tulpa entities. And so he conjured up this monster. It ended up being made of trash, incidentally. He conjured up this trash monster that would then go kill people who basically violated HOA regulations.
That sounds like a federal crime.
Well, killing people is a federal crime. Killing people is always, there's both state laws against that and there are federal rules against that. So that is always a crime. But yeah, of course, the issue is always proving that.
Well, people have thought things into existence, but it's only appeared in their head before.
Well, then does it really count as being in existence if it's only in their head?
Well, that's the only like things I can think of that are close to like a tulpa, because it's like there's never been proven tulpas existed, but people have thought things into their head and they saw it in their head before.
Okay, but that's still just thinking within your head. Yeah, you can absolutely think things and see it in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is totally
Well,
normal.
no, I'm
That's
talking about
not
like
a
it
tulpa.
appeared in front of their eyes.
Oh yeah, like to the point where you can see it with your eyes. Yeah, that is still doable.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, no, tulpas are thought to actually have a physical form, like physically be in existence.
Well, that's pretty scary.
Yes.
I don't have to be fighting all trash demons.
Oh wow.
Well, I just don't want to be fighting the demons that y'all have. I don't want to have to be spending my day fighting demons that brought up in y'all's head. I'll just spawn one of my own, and it's going to be made out of base or something.
Base tulpa.
Yeah, it's going to throw bases at you.
That would make Davey 504 proud.
Yeah. It's going to start throwing bases at you. We're talking about like 6-string bases. So if you get hit by it, you're kind of.
All right, so Derek's plan for dealing with the black-eyed children has evolved to this: traumatize them back, ask to see their teeth, talk to them about non-existent sports teams, shake their hand, and conjure up a bass tulpa to throw 6-string basses at them.
This plan is easy if you still drink chocolate milk as an adult.
What does drinking chocolate milk have to do with this?
I don't know. It's just a mandatory step.
Are you making fun of me because I do still like chocolate milk?
No,
Okay.
this is just a necessary step.
All right, all right. Well, that we have reached the end. That is all for now on the Black-Eyed Children. So, just in case children weren't already scary enough for you, now the Green Children of Woolpit and the Black-Eyed Children, if you didn't know about them before, have to live in your head. If they exist in our head, then they have to live in yours too.
Yep.
All right.
Remember the game plan, people.
Remember Derek's game plan. And thank you for listening.